Everybody knows that New York City is expensive. That's no shock to anybody watching this video. But the most expensive city in the world is a little bit crazy. Now, I can't make a blank statement saying that New York City is the most expensive city in the world because there's many different ways to measure most expensive. But when we're talking about the most expensive for expats to relocate to, New York City was officially named the #1 most expensive, according to CNBC. So I'm going to talk about this recent article from CNBC in this video, and I will also link it up in the description so you can read it yourself. So when I saw that CNBC named New York City the most expensive for expats, it was a little hard to hear because as a New York City real estate agent, I want to help people move to New York City, and I don't want to make it harder and harder for people to do that. So I kind of hated seeing that this wasn't actually a thing now. And it also officially beat out Hong Kong as the #1 most expensive city for expats to move to. Previously, that used to be the most expensive city. So I want to share something according to the article. ECA International's latest cost of living research ranked 207 cities based on a basket of day-to-day goods and services commonly purchased by assignees. That's actually kind of funny. I even laughed when I first read that originally in the article because I was like, okay, a basket of, what was it? A basket of goods? Yeah, a basket of day-to-day goods. How funny is that? But I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, that is a decent way, I guess, to measure how expensive a city is when somebody is coming to the city for the first time. Now, I guess I would argue a little bit with this article is how did they just measure one day? Like, how long were they measuring goods? Because goods that you purchase on a day-to-day basis can really fluctuate depending on the day, right? Like, you're not always buying the same goods every day. So this included food, utilities, public transportation, and basic needs such as household goods. Like I said, that can vary from day to day completely, but you know, it's an interesting way to start this study. Hong Kong did still remain #1 in Asia specifically, but globally, New York City takes the cake. Over the past year, all US cities actually surged when it comes to price for expats. And the article is saying that basically has to do with the strength of the US dollar, which does make sense if you follow that closely. And on top of that, significant rises in rental costs, which have been astronomical if you've also been following that recently. And I will definitely have separate videos on that because as a real estate agent, I deal with that every single day. So we're also going to include a picture of the most expensive cities globally for expats. The craziest thing, actually, if you look at this list, is that New York City and also San Francisco are the only 2 US-based cities on this list, actually, which is kind of crazy to think about. One of my favorite things about New York City as a whole is that there's just so much diversity here. Literally, probably more than anywhere in the world. That's how much diversity is in this one city. And I honestly think that's what attracts so many people to New York City as well. Any person from anywhere in the world can find a community here in New York City. It's crazy to think about that. You can literally move from anywhere, and there will also be people like you from your location as well. I would hate for the amount of expats to get smaller and smaller over time here because I think that's what makes the city so special and is really such a differentiating factor between so many US cities and global cities even. So I would love to know, did this article surprise you at all? Were you shocked that New York City is now the most expensive place for expats to relocate to? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments because as always, I just love hearing from you guys.